need 'em. We need strategies. Strategies. Yeah, we do. We do. We need them. We need them. We need them. We need them. Strategies for living, that is. So, are you ready?
I'm not ready.
Get ready. Are you ready for your daily dose of radio rehab? You're in a fighting mood today. Hey, folks.
Start a fight.
Yeah. Welcome, folks. Welcome into 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Welcome into another edition of Strategies for Living. I'm Dr. David McMillan, and she is psychotherapist, PLPC, Lauren Leon McMillan. We call her Fighting Lauren sometimes. Hey, Strategies for Living, we're presented by the Robinson Film Center and the Balanced Life Wellness Center, and Azalea Cleaners, and Learning RX, and Pintail Roofing, and Hempress Cannabis with Love, and the Shreveport Little Theater. Did you notice it? Did you notice that we've got a brand new sponsor?
I did.
What do you?
And I've been fighting with you, but I don't even know if anybody's heard me fighting with you because you wouldn't even let me come on air.
Well, when you have the advantage of having the controls in front of you,
I see.
it's a different kind of thing. I think that I could probably make a fortune teaching husbands how to do this. But they'd all have to go out and get a radio control board. The thing is, that's what
it doesn't work in real life.
No.
Fortunately.
I know some wives that would like it on their husbands. I know some husbands that would like it on their wives. And we're going to talk about that because we've been talking about couples relationships all week.
Yes.
And today, we are going to zero in on learning how to fight fairly. Now, that may sound weird because, here's the deal. Fight? Yeah, all couples fight.
Sure.
I mean, all couples do.
It's called conflict.
Because all couples are going to have conflict. So, when you do, you need to do it fairly. You need to do it in a healthy way. And actually, by doing it in a healthy way, you can
grow your marriage, grow your relationship.
It can grow each one of you and your marriage.
Place.
Yeah, definitely. So that's what we're going to zero in on today here on Strategies for Living. But you know what we're going to do before we do that?
What are we going to do?
We are going to visit, when we come back, with our brand new sponsor at the Balanced Life Wellness Center, Stacy Slaybaugh.
Although I was looking forward to fighting.
I know you were, but that's why I'm going to kind of take a time out, if you will. See, I'm demonstrating.
Very good.
I'm demonstrating one of the skills that we are going to talk about today here on Strategies for Living.
I'm excited to talk with Stacy.
Yeah, I am too. I'm excited to have Stacy on board and the Balanced Life Wellness Center as one of our wonderful sponsors here on Strategies for Living.
Ask for better. With
all the rest. We're coming back. We're going to talk about fair fighting today and rules of engagement here on Strategies for Living. Stay right where you are. Hey, let's talk about the Robinson Film Center, 617 Texas Street, downtown Shreveport. How many times do I say there is no place like Robinson Film Center?
You don't say it enough.
Well, no, I probably don't. And there is no place like the Robinson Film Center. I mean, where do you go to see current movies that you're not going to see anyplace else? Well, Robinson Film Center. Find out what's showing at robinsonfilmcenter.org. And then you've got Abby Singer's Bistro, right? Full-service bistro and bar, second floor of the Robinson.
That's what I can't get enough of.
Oh, man. So, here's what you want to do. You want to join the crowd, join the fun, become a member. You get discounts on movies, you get concession upgrades, you get bistro deals. RFC, 617 Texas Street, downtown Shreveport. RobinsonFilmCenter.org.
Reading begins not in the classroom, but in your child's brain. I'm Donisa Walker with Learning RX Shreveport. If your child struggles to read, Maybe he or she has trouble focusing or comprehending. LearningRx Shreveport offers a science solution to reading problems, working one-on-one with your child, targeting his or her reading skills. Today, call LearningRx Shreveport. Make an appointment to have your child assessed. I know you want to help your child. So does LearningRx Shreveport.
And welcome into 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Lauren Leon McMillan, David McMillan, here on Strategies for Living. Thank you for being with us. You know what I want to do first before we start fighting? Let's visit with our brand new sponsor, the Balanced Life Wellness Center, and Stacy Slayball. How about that?
That sounds great.
I don't think you'll fight with me about that, will you?
No, not that one.
Okay. It is so exciting to have a brand new sponsor here on Strategies for Living.
Yes, it is.
The Balanced Life Wellness Center, 117 Kings Highway, thebalancedlife.us. Stacy Slayball, welcome back, and thank you. Thank you for being here, and thank you for being a sponsor of Strategies for Living now.
Yes, welcome, and thank you.
I am happy to be with you guys. Thank you.
So let's talk about the balanced life, because some people may have heard you when you were on a couple of weeks ago, but many people probably.
And I encourage you to go check that out. Go listen if you can.
Oh yeah,
it's on Facebook and YouTube.
There you go. Or you can go to thebalancedlife.us. But you've got something so unique that you've brought here to Shreveport, Stacy. How do we even begin to explain to folks what the Balanced Life Wellness Center is all about? How do you begin when people say, well, okay, Stacy, you've opened up the Balanced Life Wellness Center. What is that?
Well, I'll tell you, David, it can be a little bit difficult to explain because I'm introducing concepts that we've not quite heard of around here before, but they have been proven. It is sound therapy, and the way sound uses frequency, the same as light, to heal or bring about wellness, we'll say, do some preventative maintenance on the body. And so I'm introducing different concepts of that nature that and helping people wrap their head around and really understand how sound and things of that nature can be very good preventative maintenance and help you maintain a healthy, balanced life.
Yes. And, there's a lot of our friends and neighbors since you've opened that have already experienced. And I love the fact that, that you've worked with some people already who've been down a lot of different avenues and trying to get relief. And they'll come in, and you have a special way of kind of making an assessment. People will understand that more when they come in and experience it. But it's non-invasive, doesn't hurt a bit.
Nope.
And gives so much information that otherwise you would not have to help balance health and wellness in people. Is that right?
Yes, absolutely. So I have the Zyto hand cradle. It uses the galvanic skin response, which is basically similar if you have ever been to the gym or you own a piece of exercise equipment, a bike, exercise bike or treadmill. They're putting these plates now on a lot of these exercise equipments that you just hold your hand on or lightly put your fingers on.
Right.
And it measures things like your heart rate throughout. So it's that exact same technology. It's nothing scary. It's nothing that you probably haven't experienced before. I'm just using it in a slightly different way to get an assessment and read things. It makes it a little bit easier because a lot of times people come in and I ask them what's wrong and they'll say, literally shrug their shoulders and say, I don't know, but something is wrong.
Yeah.
That is quite common. And so it helps me. I can spend several weeks and talk to you and pull out of you what's wrong. But this is a much quicker way that we can sit down and within 10 minutes, I can have an idea of things that are outside of your awareness that are going on in your body. And so we can start heading towards solutions immediately.
Yes. And it's interesting. People feel the difference. And you don't even have to believe.
No.
You told us a story about your own mama.
Yes, I did.
And if I'm remembering correctly, you were able, your mom had struggled with some knee pain, if I'm remembering correctly, right?
Yes, some kind of neuropathy in her lower leg from her knees to her feet. Yes.
Right. And, prophets are never appreciated in their own hometown, are they?
No, they are not. Yes, the hardest people to reach are your family.
Right. But when your mom said, I think if I'm remembering, one of her friends told her the difference that some of the things that you had done made, and so she came and experienced the treatments for herself. And what did she say at the end of that first treatment?
Well, she went home and actually called later that evening and said, I think that may have really helped. Can I come back? She's mom, so of course she can come back.
Yeah.
And now, that was probably 6 months ago, and she has not missed a session since.
I love it.
She shouts it from the rooftops. Yeah, and did not believe it. Tells everyone it's not the placebo effect, because she did not believe that it was going to work, and it has. It's worked beautifully.
And there's a lot of people out there that have struggled. They've been to a lot of different places, and the pain's still there. The stress is still there. And, it's amazing that when you get your body in balance, when you get the body and the mind and the spirit in tune and alignment, it's amazing the difference that you can feel, isn't it, Stacy?
Oh, yes. And everyone feels it. I have had people come in for the first time. They might hear of something like biofield tuning, which is one of my modalities. They may hear it somewhere else. They want to see it for themselves, but they just don't really know how it's going to work. And everyone tells me right away the difference that it makes with the very first session.
Now, it's so easy. You can go online, and you can go to thebalancelife.us, and you can actually book a discovery session right now online and come in and begin to experience the difference that less pain and less stress, maybe both, make in your life, right? It's a pretty easy process.
It is very easy. Absolutely.
Now, people can also call if they want to. But it's so much easier to book online because you're busy all day with clients. So people can call, might have to leave a message, 318-918-4318. The easy thing to do is just simply go to thebalancelife.us, and it's really, really easy to book an appointment.
Yes, and if you don't, if you're not sure what modality you need, what type of therapy you're interested in, then book that discovery session, and we will do an assessment, and I will point you in the right direction. All
right. The Balanced Life Wellness Center, 117 Kings Highway. It's right next door to Strong's. Thebalancelife.us. Go see Stacy. Go see Stacy right now. Stacy, thank you so much for bringing the Balanced Life here to Shreveport, and we're going to do everything we can to tell as many folks as we can about the difference the Balanced Life Wellness Center can make in all of our lives.
Well, thank you, David and Lauren. I appreciate talking to you.
Thank you.
Okay, Strategies for Living, and we are ready. We're ready to start fighting. You ready?
I'm ready. Let me add it.
I think...
No, I'm not. Is that better?
I think you're mirroring exactly. I mean, let's fight, let's not fight. Let's fight, let's not fight.
Right.
I want to fight, I don't want to fight. Yeah, let's start a fight. And I think inherently, we certainly don't want to fight with somebody that we love. And yet,
Well,
we know we do.
right. And it's different for different people, right? I mean, because depending on what kind of household you grew up in, fighting may have very different implications for
That's
you.
a good point. That's
You know,
a very
if you
good
grew
point.
up in a household where all you did was fight, that really could go one of two ways. That could be you learning, well, that fighting is how you show love.
Right. Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Or you could go the other 360, right? Or 180 rather, and say, you know, I'm going to avoid what I saw at all cost
Right.
because it was awful, or
Right.
you know, whatever.
Right. I've
So I
got
think we all have very different relationships with fighting itself. Period.
No question about it. No question about it at all. I've had many couples that I've worked with through the years, where one person is more of an implementer type personality, and that's
Meaning they're
they're
fire
ready aim. They're ready to go all the time.
Okay.
And their partner oftentimes is kind of the opposite of that, if you will.
Yeah.
You know, a processor, somebody that's just kind of a natural compromiser. Let's work things out, you know. And sometimes you know, in fact, oftentimes it's amazing in working with couples through the years how many times, you know, the old saying, opposites attract.
Right.
And that's exactly what happens. And that's another reason, Lauren, that, you know, I think it's extremely important. All week we've been talking about how to couple in a healthy way. I think that kind of is in broad terms.
Right.
You know,
The
each day we've gotten, you know, we've taken a specific aspect of it. And we talked about, and we didn't even fight about this.
No.
No, you know, today and this evening, we're going to talk about marital or relationship fair fighting. Because, again, I think we said this earlier in the week. It's not a matter of you can avoid conflict.
No. in fact,
Couples
that's
that do
dangerous.
avoid fighting or conflict at all cost, sometimes those are the unhealthiest couples.
Right.
You know, that you could have or you could see. So we're going to talk today about some rules. We'll do this. We'll start when we come back. We're going to talk about how to fight fair, and then we're going to talk about strategies. They're kind of rules of engagement for a successful marriage, and we're going to do that today here on Strategies for a Living. And you know, I'll just say this. I don't want you to fight me about this.
I'll try not to.
Okay. How to fight fair today here on Strategies for a Living. That's what we're zero in on. And come back and fight with us because you're going to learn to fight fair here on Strategies for a Living. We'll be right back. You know, it's been going on for 101 years now. I'm talking about the Shreveport Little Theater. Been enriching our lives through the performing arts and education and opportunities to volunteer service guided by professional artists. They've been at it a long time. And up next, beautiful, the Carole King musical is the summer musical this year. And have you seen the 24-25 season? My goodness. Neil Simon's Brighton Beach memoirs, Steel Magnolias, It's a Wonderful Life, Doubt, I Love You, You're Perfect Now, Change, and then May We All, a new country musical. You know, you need to get your season tickets right now. ShreveportLittleTheater.com. It is American theater at its best at 812 Margaret Place in Shreveport. Shreveport Little Theater. ShreveportLittleTheater.com. And welcome back into Strategies for Living here on 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Welcome back into Strategies for Living. Lauren Leon McMillan, PLPC, and David McMillan. And all week we have been talking. We've been talking about how to couple healthier.
How to create we. Perhaps.
Yeah.
Create the we.
Creating the we. I like it. Creating us, if you will. So part of that creating the we is learning how to navigate through. And one of those things is, it doesn't matter how compatible you are. It doesn't matter. Most of us, I think, begin with that quote unquote honeymoon period, right? Mm-hmm.
Where the ego walls are dropped, right? Your stories are dropped, and you might feel something along the lines of, "Oh, we're exactly the same person."
Yeah, I can't believe that I found, someone who thinks like I think and feels like I feel, and it does appear that way at first, right?
Yeah.
But those ego boundaries, those ego walls, they've come down, and that's what romantic love is. When the ego boundaries collapse,
right,
that's when we experience romantic love. But the opportunity for real love really starts when the ego boundaries come back up, and they will.
Absolutely.
Always. Now, the honeymoon period may be different for different couples. I mean, for some couples, it may be a week, and we're fighting like cats and dogs. For some, it may be a year or two, but it's going to happen inevitably.
Right.
And if we want to maintain a healthy relationship, a healthy marriage, then one of the things that we do is we learn how to fight fairly. So let's talk about some principles, and then we'll talk about some actual rules for fair fighting.
Sounds
all right.
good.
So one of the principles is that your purpose is to find mutually respectful solutions are a solution. It may not be just one solution. It may be, sometimes multiple solutions, but your purpose is to find mutually respectful solutions are a solution, right?
So in other words, a compromise, right?
You begin.
Something we both agree upon as a solution.
Absolutely. You begin with the idea that if you go far, as we learn to do as we're coming up, we learn, I'm going to win. I got to win,
Right.
And if I win, then the other person, quote unquote, loses.
And so then we lose.
Absolutely.
Together.
We have to understand that if one or the other of you go far, a win-lose, then it's lose-lose. Okay? Now, another principle is, and this may seem, remember you're only human, And so what do we know about humans? What do we absolutely, positively understand about humans?
We're fallible.
And we'll change. Yep.
Yeah.
And so those are givens.
Yeah.
Those are absolute givens. And so
and knowing that we're human is knowing that we're both here to learn and to grow, and therefore we're going to make mistakes and want to repair.
Absolutely. Now, we've kind of alluded to this, but I think it's important to make this a principle.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Sometimes a fight is necessary. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of putting the fight in air quotes,
okay.
right?
Yeah.
Because a fight doesn't have to be brutal.
No.
A fight, a better word actually is conflict. Sometimes conflict is necessary.
Right.
If there's never any conflict, then somebody's giving up themselves. One of my favorite book titles that I've ever had here on Strategies for Living. Years ago, I interviewed a lady by the name of Margaret Paul, and she had written a book called Do I Have to Give Up Me to Be Loved by You? And I think that's the best title. It's certainly in the top 5, right?
Absolutely.
And here's the deal, and this is another principle. Both of you are powerful beings.
Ooh.
Yeah, both of you are powerful beings.
And that's so important because so many times our society and the world and the way we grow up being, or feeling rather, disempowered.
Yep.
When the truth is we are all great
powerful beings.
and powerful beings.
Yep. And
worthy.
No question. All right. Another principle is that every fight is co-created. All right. Now, I've probably just thrown out fighting words to some, I'm hearing out there, well, you don't know my wife or you don't know my husband.
Right.
No, I don't have to. It doesn't matter the stances that you guys have taken, up till now. Every fight is co-created. And that means it's the environment within which the quote unquote fight happens has been, whether you've been together for 6 months, 3 years, or 40 years.
Right.
You have co-created this environment. Therefore, every single disagreement, every single fight is co-created. It takes two.
It takes two to tango.
It takes two. And, another principle, and I think we're getting into some really important ones, even though we're kind of dotting I's and crossing T's now. Don't harbor discontent. It's a principle. Go in from the beginning knowing, if you go in from the beginning knowing, okay, we're going to fight, but we're going to fight fairly.
Right. And we're on the same team.
And we're on the same,
the end.
absolutely,
Yeah.
because we're the whole goal of the fighting, whatever fighting we do, is to build us.
Right. It's to speak each of our truths and to somehow mold that together into a shared truth and goal.
Yeah, but have you ever really considered that we need a different color in
Or
this
that
room?
maybe we need to stay on point.
Oh.
Stay on task as well.
That's another principle.
It
huh?
is another principle.
Yeah, how
Stay
often during a
focused. Yeah.
disagreement do one or the other of you or both of you have you looked at this wall lately? I mean, have you noticed we really need to
And
remodel
that-
the bathroom?
Whether it's conscious or not is a form of escapism.
Right.
It's a form of saying I need to get out of this. I can't handle this.
I can't handle it. I can't do it anymore. So that's a principle, to stay on point. And then last but not least,
Certainly not least.
but I'm going to asterisk. In fact, I'm going to double asterisk this one.
Yeah.
Do you know what trash canning is?
I do, but
Yeah. Okay.
explain.
So,
I'll pretend I don't.
yeah.
What is it?
Well, the principle is that we avoid dragging up past complaints.
Okay.
Every single time that we have a disagreement, every single time that we have a quote unquote fight, we want to try not to have stuff go into the trash can, right?
Right.
Because we want to try to settle everything that we can settle. But principle number 2 is you're only human, so we're not going to be 100% at that, right?
Right.
And so I don't care who you are, how much you love your partner, there's going to be a little bit of stuff in the trash can. So trash canning is when a couple has one or the other introduces an issue. So let's pretend that I'll reach back here and this. I'm crumpling up this piece of paper,
Right.
and I'm throwing it out into the middle of us. This piece of paper represents something that I've introduced between us that we need to work out.
Right. It's all crumpled up.
It's
Yep.
all crumpled up, and
needs
it's
to be-
between us, and
yeah.
we need to figure it
unfold
out. Right.
Yep.
Trash canning is when you decide, okay, I don't want to do this with him right now. I don't feel like doing this with him right now. So you go get your trash bin of unresolved stuff.
Don't you remember when?
Yeah.
But you always do that.
And you
right?
dump it right in the middle.
Yeah, yeah.
And oftentimes when you do that, when
That
a couple does that, it invites the other to dump theirs in the middle.
Right.
Now, what started out as a simple crumpled up one
Single
little
paper.
piece of paper now is a mound because we've dumped it in.
We've dumped
that's trash canning.
Yeah.
And so many couples, I can't even tell you, Lauren, through the years, how many times in couples counseling, you teach and you help a couple understand, oh, we've been trash canning, and just simply taking one, tactic like that and deciding, okay, we're not going to do that anymore. We're just going to stick with whatever has been introduced. Then, man, you can really see some progress made. Okay, so there are some rules. The principles are the principles, but the rules of fair fighting are don't dirty fight. No dirty fighting. No name calling, no character assassination, no mockery, no hitting below the belt.
Right. So, kind of in reference to last night, no criticism or contempt.
Right. And you pointed this out last night very well. Use I statements. Avoid the you and shift the you to I.
Right.
Use I statements. When you listen, and you want to try to listen very, very, you listen very well. Listen with curiosity and concern.
And listen to understand. Don't listen to prepare your next comeback.
Right.
Right.
Stand your ground. I mean, that's a rule of fair fighting. I mean, you have a right. Each one of you have rights to think and feel what you think and feel. But the issue here and what we're working towards here is we're working towards melding that together. What can we live with? Remember, that first principle was about compromise, right?
Right. Being able to both speak our full truth.
Yep.
And hear each other.
Respect your partner's integrity. Now, protect yourself from abuse. Abuse is not okay under any circumstances, anytime. Keep open to new possibilities, and both of you need to absolutely, totally insist on a resolution. We're coming to, and not everything can be solved in one fight.
Absolutely, yeah.
But if we can't solve it in, one session, we admit that, we bracket it, and we say, okay, we're going to come back to this. We're going to continue the conversation. When can we pencil this in? When can we pencil another 30 minutes, an hour, whatever we think we need in to continue this important conversation between us, right?
Right.
We are talking about something that's extremely important today in a healthy couple, and that's how to fight fair. When we come back, we're going to talk about some rules of engagement for a successful relationship, a successful marriage. And we'll do that in just a moment here on Strategies for Living. Stay with us. You're going to see the difference. When you go to Azalea Cleaners, you'll hear about it too. Azalea Cleaners has been fine dry cleaning since 1958, plus laundry, alterations and repairs, comforters, wedding gown cleaning and restoration. You'll hear about it from your friends because they'll see it too. They'll notice the Azalea difference. Azalea is convenient. 732 Azalea Drive, 9220 Ellerby Road, and 9227 Mansfield Road. Plus, the front door of your home or business with Azalea's delivery on demand. Just text SETUP to 249-8283, and Azalea will pick up your clothes and deliver them back clean and fresh to you. You can't get closer than that. That's the Azalea difference. You'll notice it right away. Others will too. The Azalea difference. Fine dry cleaning since 1958. Text SETUP to 249-8283 and get the Azalea difference. AzaleaCleaners.com. And welcome back. Welcome back into 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Welcome back into Strategies for Living. Laura and Leon McMillan, David McMillan, and we're talking about how to fight fair. We've been talking about healthy coupling all week, how to create, maintain a healthy marriage, a healthy relationship. And part of that is learning how to fight fair. And because conflict is a given. If you're together and you're human, and I'm assuming you're married to a human.
Well, never know.
Yeah.
Depends on your beliefs, I suppose.
Sometimes,
at least part human.
Yeah, sometimes he's more human than other times.
Yeah. I don't know.
All right, so we've talked about, the principles. Your purpose is to find a mutually respectful solution. Remember that you and your partner are only human. Remember that sometimes a fight is necessary. Both of you are very powerful beings. Every fight is co-created. It's not something that you did or I did. It's co-created with both of us. We're going to agree not to harbor discontent. We're going to stay on point, and we're not going to trash can. We're going to avoid dragging up, past unfinished business and dumping it right in the middle of our relationship.
I don't know, that sounds kind of fun.
Hey, you're bringing up a point. That is, it is fun sometimes.
It is fun for a lot of people.
And sometimes, especially when couples don't experience or have the passion that one would like to have, maybe that the other.
That's how they get passion.
That's how they find. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, and again, that might go back all the way to childhood and upbringing and how you saw love modeled for you.
Yeah. Exactly.
If it was chaotic and argumentative, then, that's how you're going to view how love is, quote unquote, supposed to look like.
Yeah,
right?
and we did a program earlier this week on attachment. And if you missed that, then, go on the Facebook page. You can listen to it anytime you want to. The YouTube page, Facebook page is Strategies for Living with David McMillan. Sometimes, you and I get asked, how can we listen to programs in the past? I want so-and-so that lives 200 miles away to listen to that show.
Right. Totally possible.
Yep, totally possible. Facebook page, Strategies for Living with David McMillan, and they're there.
And
all right.
YouTube is Strategies for Living.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about some rules of engagement for a successful marriage.
More rules.
More rules. Yeah. Well,
I think we ought to say these are suggested rules, and I would suggest that you and your partner talk about them and come up with your own.
Yeah.
Or see if you agree with us or not.
Absolutely.
I mean, take what resonates and don't what doesn't.
Use these as kind of a guideline for you. One guideline is to stay current and travel light. The here and now is the only place and time in which we have any kind of control over ourselves.
It's the only time we have, period.
Exactly. Now, all of us have a history, and hopefully we have a future. The past informs us and can provide us with lessons. The future offers a challenge to us, right? Okay. We may not know, we don't know what that challenge is.
Right.
So the precious present is the gift of now. And so stay current, travel light.
And so what that means to stay current is, we're always changing.
Yep.
Right? And so to take time out of your day, or at least out of your week, to catch up with, okay, where are you on this issue? How are you doing in this realm of your life? You because we're constantly changing.
Right.
I mean, even, some simple things like your favorite color, your favorite music, right?
We evolve. Yeah. We evolve and we change. Okay, another thing to remember is that the problem is the problem. So many times we get involved in a problem and we want to make each other the problem.
This is a biggie.
And rather than look at one another and see him or her as the problem, consider that we're both looking at the same situation, but we're looking at it from different perspectives. So by placing our respective points of view before us, we can take a step back and we can dialogue about the vantage points. We can listen to each other, truly listen. And
it's that old, blind guys are trying to describe the elephant, right? And one's at the trunk and one's at the tail.
And they're experiencing very different things.
And yet the beauty in that, in being able to talk about and dialogue about our perspective, is that we are truly looking at the same thing.
Right.
And
none of us has the whole picture.
Right. But together we can get closer.
There you go.
To the wholeness.
Set aside a time and a place for engagement, and be respectful of each other's schedules. Allow for time out, and that is there's a proviso here, and that is when somebody calls a time out, the discussion hasn't ended. It means we just need to go to our corners, gather ourselves, and then come back. I always ask if we're going to use timeout, and I encourage everybody to use it because it's such an important tool. But set some limits on it. What does our timeout mean?
Yeah. When are we coming back?
When are we coming back? And it could be, we could have a kind of a standard. Okay, a timeout means 10 minutes, or a timeout means 15 minutes, unless there's mitigating circumstances where, okay, well, let's alter that for this time, and we'll define X time as the time that we come back, right?
And also, in addition to this idea of setting aside time, I would say, before you start an intense engagement of conflict, check in with each other. Is this an okay time
Yep.
for you to talk about this? Are you in a place, the right mind space,
Yep.
to deal with this or not? And if you're not, honor that. Allow your partner to go take some time and bring their senses back online, their logical sense.
I encourage you to eliminate the distractions. Cell phones out of the way, computers out of the way, television off, and be comfortable.
Sure, yeah, be there with each other.
Absolutely.
Be present to the situation and give it your full attention, so you're communicating to your partner that, hey, this is really important to me.
Yep.
You're important, and this issue that, our ability to work towards and solve this
And moving
issue
through it.
together
Right.
is very important to me.
Consider gentle touch as the conversation unfolds. Knee to knee, holding your hands. That's an example of that kind of touch. Also, eye contact. Eye contact, it can be difficult during a disagreement,
Right.
but it's an invitation to awareness of the intimacy that surrounds the engagement. Hey, we're both humans. We both love each other.
And it's a gentle reminder that, hey, I'm here with you, for you, and through this together.
Yep.
We're still on the same team.
Yep.
Also, gentle touch can help serve as a nervous system regulator, right? Throughout the conflict.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So those are just some rules of engagement. They're not the rules, but maybe it would be
General guidelines to jump
and
off of.
You might for a couple, it can be an incredibly powerful exercise to make your own rules of fair fighting, make your own.
And post them on the refrigerator if
Yes,
you need to for
absolutely.
a while.
Let's remind each other that you're not the problem, I'm not the problem. Let's make the problem the problem. And here's the guidelines. Here's the way that we go about solving any problem. And
Together.
Absolutely. And when kids watch their parents
Oh my
do
gosh,
this,
that could be powerful.
that's powerful for them and their futures. Talking about fair fighting today, here as we continue Healthy Coupling Week here on Strategies for a Living. Be right back.
Hi, this is Jay Merle for Pintail Roofing. Let's talk about quality. When you hire Pintail to build your roof, here's what you can expect. Quality and quality control are the most important concerns for us at Pintail, and you need to know that Pintail stands tall with swift and professional performance on any warranty call. This is our most important policy. And remember, we're your neighbors. We'll be here for you for the long haul. Our family's lived here for over 100 years, and we aren't going anywhere. On the commercial side of Pintail's business, our fluid-applied roofing solutions can save thousands of dollars over conventional commercial roofing options. Call Pintail at 226-ROOF for a free inspection of your home or commercial building. That's 226-7663. Pintail Roofing. What's the condition of your roof?
And welcome back. Welcome back into 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Welcome back into Strategies for Living. Lauren Leon McMillan, David McMillan. Well, what did we learn today? Can we fight fair now?
I guess so.
Yeah?
I think so. I think we could take a stab at it anyway.
Takes all the fun out of it, doesn't it?
No, not at all. In my opinion, anyway.
Well,
What it does is it kind of provides some safe boundaries. It lays a nice, safe, cushioned floor for everybody.
Lauren,
in participation.
you're saying something that is so extremely important, and that is, why do we have boundaries? Why do we have quote unquote rules? Right? Same reason that we have rules of the road. Stop signs, red lights, yield signs, the railroad crossing bars that come down. It's for our safety. It's
Right.
for our protection. And so that's the same thing in a healthy couple. You have to have the boundaries down. You have to have, now they can be broad.
Sure.
They can
And they can be flexible and
Yes.
even have gates,
Absolutely.
movable.
But they're important, just as you wouldn't feel comfortable driving around a community with absolutely zero stop signs and zero red lights, right? And lots of crossways.
Oh, man.
You wouldn't feel comfortable with that because it wouldn't be safe. So, really, you really want to focus on making the relationship safe for both of us and for everybody else in the house too.
And I will even go as far as to say this is so important because the ability to have depth and strength in your relationship depends on the amount of difficult conversations that you're able to have.
Absolutely. We will continue with more coupling as we continue couple week. Actually, as we wrap up couple week tomorrow
It's already
here on
here.
Strategies for Living. Folks, thank you for tuning in to Strategies, and we appreciate our sponsors making it possible. The Robinson Film Center, the Balanced Life Wellness Center, Azalea Cleaners, Learning RX, Pintail Roofing, Empress Cannabis with Love, and the Shreveport Little Theater. If today were the last day of your life, you only had one more phone call to make, who would you call? And what would you say? And why are you waiting? Make the call. For Lauren Leon McMillan, I'm David McMillan. See you next time, right here on Strategies for Living.